Hey guys, it is Tim and James with Tabletop Terrors. We're actually outside a local hardware store because we're going to make a battle mat. And so, I know that they sell battle mats, but we're going to talk about blending a battle mat as well as theater of the mind and how you can do that. So we're actually going to just do this handy cam style. We're going to walk through the hardware store and we're going to show you how you can get away with doing this for like $8. So we're going to blend using a battle mat and theater of the mind together, tabletop terror style. So here we go, and forgive the camera work because we're walking around with this thing. All right, let's do this. All right, so two things. The first thing is we're going to try not to show you which hardware store we're in. It might happen. We can't blur it out. The other thing is that if you hear music in the background, we're not using it on purpose. So YouTube might recognize the music. But we're actually in the paneling section of our local hardware store. What you're going to want to look for right here is called white panel board. And basically this is like $13.47. What I'm going to do is actually get this panel board cut in half. So if you look, it's pretty large. And for about $14, you can basically get this cut to the size of your exact table. So you're going to want to know the dimensions of your actual table you'll be playing on before you get here. And if you can give them exact measurements, since this is pressed wood, they can cut this on their wood cutter. So that's what we'll go ahead and do now. This is the wood cutter. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to try to find somebody who can help us, but what they're going to do is they're going to line up the measurements here. My finger's way out of focus, sorry about that. But they're going to line up the measurements on the board and they can cut it very precisely for you. So like I said, it's important that you know the exact measurements of your table, and it's also important that whatever you do get, you can fit in your car when you drive home. I want you to take notice of the bottom right. I think that's ironic. See, the thing is, we can't follow them down there because we don't know if we're technically supposed to be filming them.
So it turns out Tim was wrong. It's not quite the $7 or $8 he said. It was $13.47, but we made 3 of them. So what you've got to do is you buy one of these, get it cut up, and sell them to your friends for a profit.
Well, see, that's what happened. The thing is that the last time the nice man in the hardware store let me buy half of one.
Oh, okay. Oh, we didn't try that, though.
Well,
I mean, that might be a thing. You guys can ask your local hardware store.
well, no, he said I had to buy the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's like, you have to buy the whole thing for them to cut it so that there wasn't just a piece laying there.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
So I guess the other guy kind of broke the rules on us, but,
All right.
for us, not on us.
For us, not on us.
Broke the rules for us. So it's going to be more than $7, but what we're going to do next is we're actually going to show you how you can lay this on a table, how you can actually put it down, use it, let your players use it, and still get away with theater of their mind and using a battle mat at the same time for $14. We're going to go ahead and show you a quick time lapse of how to use this right away.
Okay, so as you can see here, we've placed the whiteboard directly on top of the table. This lets players put their things right on the table, right on top of the whiteboard. Now I also give each one of the players a dry erase marker. Next, you want to set up your things. Set up your Dungeon Master screen, and make sure you also have a dry erase marker. The Dungeon Master screen is handy to jot down quick things behind the screen directly onto the whiteboard. For each encounter, I draw a rough outline of what the players see, basically as they see it. But I only use this for blocking, so it's kind of a static image of where everyone is. So really on a case-by-case basis, I'll tell the players, yeah, I think you can reach that. Or, nah, I don't think you can quite make it that far. It's a blend of theater of the mind and using a map. I forego using an actual grid just because it gets rid of that grid mentality for my particular game. Each one of my players uses a miniature on the cheap. We use D4s, and that shows where their character is. And then look, you can roll right on the battle mat. Now, I want to point out for the sake of this video, that isn't a second take or a third take. That's a first take natural 20. So I thought that was pretty awesome. Finally, with their dry erase markers, the players can keep track of things like hit points, spell slots, anything they want to write. You can keep track of things like inspiration. You can keep track of spell durations and really anything else you want to write on here. Will the players draw funny pictures, lewd pictures, ridiculous things? Of course. As long as you can keep it under control, I think that the pros outweigh the cons here. And plus, if they misbehave, you can kill them. One final thing I do is use D6s as monsters. I number them, so I put 1 dice on the number 1, 1 dice on the number 2, etc. This is easy for the players to call out, hey, I'm going to go ahead and attack orc number 2. So right there, if you don't have miniatures, you can use your dice and keep track of things right on the battle mat.
Alright, so that was sort of a time-lapse of how we usually play when we adventure. Our family and I, we do the sort of theater of the mind / whiteboard system, and it works pretty well for us using the dice on the numbers and things like that. And so you guys should like this video, comment, subscribe, let us know if you try this, if you go there, if your hardware store has these, if you have any trouble, if yours is more expensive, less expensive, just let us know.
Alright guys, this is Tim and James with Tabletop Terrors. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
See you next time, guys.
I want you to look very carefully right here. Look at this. Someone was keeping track of hit points on this vinyl gutter paper here, right? Look at that. They're playing D&D all over this whole hardware store. It's like a secret history.